Pastor Rich here. Also, I'm a cook. So today I'm going to be cooking pork chops and rice. Take a look. All right, here we go. We have the pork chops and the stuff that I'm going to be using to put it together. Okay, I'll be back in a little bit. Oh, okay, here's the next stage, a little seasoning. The stuff is cut up here, and what I'm going to use, we have scallion, little tomato, onion, and that is portobello mushroom. Okay, now we have a little olive oil in the pot. Okay, here we go. I got some butter, garlic, and olive oil. Okay, here we go. We're just sauteing a little scallion, onions, and garlic before putting in the pork chops. Now I put some pork chops in. Gonna brown the first side and then flip it. Take those out, put the other batch in, and then after all have been browned, then I'm gonna put them all back in and then put the toppings that you saw earlier that I chopped up, the onion, the mushroom, tomato, and scallion. Then I'm gonna cook that down, and that is gonna produce the gravy that goes all over that. It's gonna be on top rice. So you have something to saturate and flavor the rice as well. That's gonna be the broth created from the cooking down of the pork chops. Take a look. Yep, listen to that sizzle. This is what's going to go on top of it after it's been seared or browned a little bit on both sides. Okay? All right. Later. I was trying to figure out a good position to get that so you can see that I'm the one doing it. But here we go. It's not ready yet to be flipped. Got to be done a little more. The aroma is pleasing. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. I don't measure the water. A rule of thumb I use is once you put the rice in, I put enough water to cover the rice and a little bit more. You can always add water, but you can't take water out, okay, when you're cooking rice. And you can see that the chops are already brown, a little bit on that side. That's good enough. So once the other side is done, I'll take those out, put the others in, and then once all of that is done, we'll come back where we're putting everything else in there now to cook it down. All right, later. Okay, the other batch is in. The rice is doing its thing. Okay. So yeah. This is what's going to go on it. You have the portobello, the garlic, onions, tomato for a little tartness, and scallion. Not tartness, the acidic. Now, you don't want to put too much tomatoes in there because it will overpower. And you don't take out all this burnt onion and garlic because that's going to give it flavor. By the time this is done on the other side and you put everything in there, we'll be good to go. Now remember, you're not cooking the pork chops all the way through right now. You're just browning both sides. So it's like almost halfway cooked. and then because you don't want to overcook it as well. So by the time we put everything else in the pot and let it cook down, then it'll be nice and tender. Okay. Now it's ready to be covered and simmered. See, all the stuff is in there, a little more seasoning on top with a few pieces of butter. And we're not going to get into cholesterol or any of that stuff. Is you have to know the healthy butter that you should be using. With a little water to give it gravy. See that bubbling at the bottom there? And the steam escaping. You don't want to lose all of that. So we're going to cover it up and let that simmer. We'll check back later. Okay, we're back. It's been simmering. And for the backstory, remember we browned both sides first. After we sauteed a little garlic, onion, scallion with olive oil and a little tad of butter for flavor. So after we browned the pork chops on both sides, we put them back into the pan, and then we added actually more fresh onions, scallion, mushrooms, and garlic on top. And then we covered it. You saw what it looked like before. Everything was still looked raw on top. So now take a look after it is now simmered. See, now it doesn't look like that raw stuff sitting on top anymore. Okay, so what I'm going to do later, I'll come back when I plate it, which is, I guess, restaurant terminology of putting it on the plate. Plating. Okay. See you soon. Okay, cooking with Pastor Rich. Okay, I'm a pastor, but pastors need to eat. So God does not object to me having a cooking show in His honor. He sustains me by food for my body and sustains me spiritually for my spiritual body. Now we're referring to the physical body, and now I'm going to show you the final product of the pork chops over rice. Take a look. By the way, I just figured out that I could flip the tablet around so I can have a better view. I remember I told you in the past videos that I'm just still learning. Okay, anyway, let me show you the pork chops, and that, you know, look at that. See, it just falls apart. Okay, so I will be enjoying this, and let me see here. Okay, that's going to be it for now. My first upload of Cooking with Pastor Rich. I will see you guys soon.